the injury attorneys at The Advocates can't actually prevent you from being in a cycling accident, they will be by your side to support you following your accident. Our legal services won't cost you a dime out of pocket, so when you need an injury attorney, call us. We're The Advocates, your Utah personal injury attorneys. You didn't deserve to be in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, happy Friday. Hello. There it is. Hi,
Yes.
happy Friday on the Monty Show. As always, presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. You guys, be safe this Memorial Day weekend. Yes, friends, it is Memorial Day weekend. I say this every year, and it probably tweaks a few people. It's not Happy Memorial Day. Yes, you have free time off. Yes, you get a holiday on Monday. Enjoy it. Love it. Spend time with your family, barbecues. But remember what Memorial Day is all about. We are remembering those who have given their lives on the field of battle, who have given their lives for this country. And I am thankful now that we fold in law enforcement and public servants as well as military on this weekend. So take a moment while you're enjoying your free time and your extra time off to remember why we have Memorial Day weekend. And if you are so unfortunately afflicted with being in an accident, make sure that you also remember to get to theadvocates.com, where you can chat with an injury attorney 24/7, 365, and it won't cost you a dime at theadvocates.com. A very interesting day. A very interesting day in the world of sports. And I think sometimes in this world where we're trying to, grow brands and everybody's got to have the most viewers, and sometimes we get crazy with headlines. But is it too much of a headline? Is it crazy to say that yesterday was the day that college football changed forever? Again, because it seems like we're getting those days more and more often. And if you take stock of what happened yesterday to make it truly a historic day in college athletics, you have every major entity involved in college athletics agreeing to pay these NIL settlements. And you have every major entity agreeing to rule and regulation changes that allow them at the university level now to pay college athletes directly. It is a significant shift, from the way that business has been done for generations in college athletics. And I don't necessarily believe that it is a good thing. In the comment section today, let's talk about the basic question. Do you think it is a good idea to pay college athletes? What I would tell you is right, wrong, good, bad. I think it almost doesn't matter. It's the inevitable outcome. When you are making billions of dollars on the backs of people laboring for your profit, you have to compensate them. And this always goes back to these conversations about what is the value of an education and are they not being compensated enough through that? Let's not even go there. Let's not pretend that a college scholarship is somehow level compensation based on the money that is being generated, especially by the stars of college athletics. Jake, is it a good idea to pay college athletes directly from the universities?
I mean, I think it's better than what we have working now, which is like just sort of a wild, wild west of kids making money from whatever sponsor is willing to pony up the money. But I think the hard part is that, when you start looking into this settlement and you start to understand that, all these deals are going to have to go through the school directly, which gives them a layer of control. You start to understand that, okay, well, schools are the ones, who are responsible for approving or not approving or, and these NIL deals, then then what then becomes of it at a conference level? Because once the schools are in control, now commissioners can start looking at it and saying, okay, hey, Baylor, like you got to start doing more NIL, or hey, Texas Tech, or hey, Alabama, or hey, Ohio State. Like, you can start looking at it at a school level. And so I think once again, that may lead us down a path where it goes away from doing deals for the kid as opposed to doing deals just to make as much money as possible. And the other thing that came to mind yesterday when this came out was, okay, cool, the schools are going to handle all of this. What's the fine print going to say? Like, is there going to be a lot of incentive laden NIL stuff? What are the ways the schools are going to scheme to make these NIL deals work for them? So that was one of my initial things. And so is it a good idea? I don't know if it's good or bad yet. I think it really depends on how institutions handle NIL, because I do think that it's going to be case by case. And I think the hard part is, if you're an athlete right now, your window in time to go out and make all this, unfiltered or unregulated NIL money just came to an end with this settlement. And I think that's the hard part, is like, now schools are going to complain about all this back pay and everything, but today's current athlete has to sit here and say, okay, well, what about me? Because I'm not the All-American from 2015 or whatever that's getting his back pay. I'm here now. How can I go out and make money in today's NIL marketplace? And the other verbiage that I was a little concerned about is this whole concept of, your quote unquote true value for NIL and how we're going to determine that. So there's going to be a system, according to the settlement, that gets developed for defining what player A versus player B's value is. It's not just going to be your value is what someone's, willing to pay you, which I think is what it should be. I think it should be, hey, if a kid goes out and talks to a company and they're willing to pay him $1 million a season, you just need to run that through the school and you're good to go. That's how it should be. But I don't think it's going to be that way. I think that schools are going to garner control, and they're going to say, well, your true value in NIL is actually only $3, even though this company over here from the tech sector is willing to pay you $10.
Yeah, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do with that in particular. I think you're worth what somebody's willing to pay you, but I think we like to live in these idealistic societies where we think that education's important. Like, I look at the statement from Notre Dame, and the president of Notre Dame, I think, shows you why we are where we are. And I am a Notre Dame fan through and through, but this right here, this statement is embarrassing to me. That you have a guy who, as the president of Notre Dame, would say something to the effect of, to save the great American institution of college sports, Congress must pass legislation that preempts the current patchwork of state laws, establish that our athletes are not employees, but students seeking college degrees. They're not students seeking college degrees. And I understand that most college athletes will never play professionally. But let's not sit here and say little Jimmy from Los Angeles is going to play college football at Notre Dame in this case, or whatever school you want to point to, because he's seeking a college degree. No, he's seeking a payday.
Yeah.
And we need to understand that. And I look at statements like that from Notre Dame, and I say to myself, this is why we are where we are, because you didn't want to share the billions that you made with the young people that made you those billions. Did the NCAA have a significant hand in making that money? Yes, it did. But you were at the very minimum full share partners with the kids on the field and the court. And you didn't want to pay them. You didn't want to pay the revenue generating athletes even a single penny. You thought Pell Grants and a chicken sandwich were enough to get kids by. It was never enough. And I think I truly do not believe that this change would have ever happened unless violence was forced upon the old heads that run these universities. I think that's the only reason that we got the settlement that we got and these kids are getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because you can't tell me these guys would have reached into their pocket voluntarily. I don't buy that for a second.
Yeah, they never have, never will. Never. I mean,
yeah.
it's just not. That's not how the rich stay rich, right? I mean, they're going to fight till the death to make sure that they don't have to pay more than what they should be.
Yeah, and I think what's really going to happen is we're going to limit opportunities. That's what this will come down to.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say like this whole situation where it runs through the school, I'm telling you, is going to be a problem. You're going to get to a place where schools are going to start doing deals, and the first couple, they're are going to be fine. But then schools are going to look at those deals and they're going to say, okay, well, where can we save money? How can we, without intentionally screwing the kid, how can we save money? How can we get through this deal and save, as many of our dollars as possible? And I think that's where I have real trouble with this, because NIL was first rolled out as a stopgap to allow kids to make money off their name, image, and likeness, and allow kids to say, hey, you're Caleb Williams or you're Brock Bowers or you're whoever, and you can go out and have sponsors essentially pay you to represent them because you're so good at what you do. And I've never understood why, the system has to get in the way of that. Why are we in a place where we are so obsessed with what these kids make or don't make? Let them go and do that. Like, they should be able to just go out into the marketplace and do that.
Yes.
And for some reason, we had to turn this into, student athlete versus employee. And well, if he's going to make that much, then everyone's got to make that much. And it's just like, no, dude, actually, that's not the case. The case is that this situation should have been like every other thing in our country. Hey, business owner A is really good at what they do. They're going to make a lot more money than business owner B, who's running a shop out of their garage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the essence of our country. Yet here we are treating NIL like it's some special thing that we got to make sure that we take care of the schools and we got to make sure that the system is fine. And then I get articles this week talking about how, hey, this settlement, while uncomfortable, was necessary to save college athletics from bankruptcy. So let me get this right. You're reaching into the kid's pocket again, and that's why you risk bankruptcy.
Well, I think all this does is create a much clearer line of the haves and the haves not.
Yeah.
When you're paying $20 to $22 million a year, how many schools can compete? I'll go back to the Boise State conversation. Can Boise State compete with LSU? Brian Kelly, who talked about this a few weeks ago. They cannot. LSU is far more capable of paying $20 million than Boise State. And you're simply going to have a situation where a lot of these universities become afterthoughts. You are going to, whether you want to or not, see college athletic programs die. You are going to see historically competitive programs no longer have the wherewithal or the desire to compete at the highest levels financially.
And by the way, what happens when the big boys like LSU take the stance like Brian Kelly did of, hey, we're not looking to bring kids in who just want to make money. You want to be an LSU Tiger? That's great. So what happens if they become successful with that angle and they don't end up having to spend all of their NIL budget? Let's say they save $5 million a year in NIL. So does that roll over to next year? Is there an obligation to use those earmarked funds for NIL only?
Well,
or can you save and shift? And that's the type of scheming I'm talking about. And you look at all these tweets from Ross yesterday about structure and rev sharing and cap rules and roster rules and,
eliminating scholarship caps,
right? Like all of this stuff in this settlement is the scheming setup for the schools and for the NCAA to work through NIL. They have to give themselves a way to say, okay, cool. Yeah. You know what? yeah, Georgia, they did everything they could to spend all their NIL money, but looks like they just had a couple extra mil that they weren't able to allocate. So we're going to throw that back into the athletic budget, right? Like, would anybody be surprised if that type of behavior happened as part of this settlement 2 years from now? Like, I
don't know.
be.
We'll find out. I think it is. I think the game has changed irrevocably, and I think I look at the damage that is. No, you can't unwind the watch here, man. Like, here's a question. You want to be terrified if you are a Big 12 fan, and we have a lot of Big 12 fans that watch this show. This right here should terrify you. The fact that you made $510 million. Well, what do you say? Well, the ACC certainly, they're worse than, oh, wait, they're not. $200 million more than you. Well, the Pac-12, no, $100 million more than you. But the Big 10, $380 or $370 million more than you. And I would remind you, the SEC's at $850. And you are at $510 million. It's shocking. And you're losing Texas and Oklahoma. It's shocking.
Yeah.
That we sit here and we talk about this on a regular basis. And you look at these numbers. And if you are a fan of the Big 12, you should be worried. Because I don't know how you make up a $370 million financial gap. I don't know how you do that. Furthermore, if the ACC is crying poor and they're $100 million further ahead than you are, what is the Big 12 without Texas and Oklahoma? And we sit here every day, and I feel like on a weekly basis, we ask the question, who's the brand in the Big 12? Well, the reason we're asking who the brand is because you're losing Texas and Oklahoma, the only brands you had, and you're picking up 4 universities in Colorado, Utah, and the Arizona schools that are not big brands. And I don't see how that covers even half of that shortfall.
Yeah, and in that screenshot for the Big 12, you'll notice it says they got Texas and Oklahoma's full shares. So as part of that $510 million, Texas and Oklahoma's full TV shares and college football playoff shares went to the conference. And so you begin to understand that not only is Brett Yormark having to figure out how to add schools, but he's also having to figure out how to play with, one hand tied behind his back until he can get revenue up. And that's why I say, once again, let me be repetitive for like the 5th time this week. This is why things like the Super League are never dead, because conferences need more money to work with.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about a conference that, is probably going to be 480, 500 mil for revenue after you add these schools and you lose Texas and Oklahoma. I would think because you're adding 4 and losing 2,
well,
you'd be able to be.
You also have you got to remember they have a better TV contract. They have new revenue streams through basketball. I'm telling you, though, you don't make up a $300 million shortfall. You're never going to be the behemoth. But can you get to $800 million? Because I think we all can agree, sitting here talking about this, the Big 10 and the SEC are going to make $1 billion this year each. They're going to make $1 billion. Where does the Big 12 go from here?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's pretty bleak when you're almost 50% behind. And the ACC, the biggest brands in the ACC are talking about how they're not making money and they can't compete. Can the Big 12 compete? And as we talked about yesterday, I'll continue to point at Mike Gundy. I'll continue to point to Joey McGuire in Lubbock. Sonny Dykes in Fort Worth. You better get your ass in gear. Why did Baylor not fire Dave Aranda? Hey, great basketball program. Football's killing you. And you are living and dying in this conference on football. And I maybe I'm alone in this. I don't see people desperate to succeed in football in this conference.
No, I think that there's a lot of, like with Mike Gundy as an example, or Dave Aranda is another good example. There's a lot of these guys who are the old guard, who have been there for too long and are comfortable and just kind of doing things the way they've always been done. And again, even sitting here now, how do you have a head coach of a D1 Power 4 football team that doesn't embrace NIL, that doesn't embrace the portal, that doesn't embrace the new wave of how things are done. I don't know how that's possible. And I don't know how, schools continue to be comfortable with it. And it's like,
I don't know.
You look at the ACC and there's been much bandied about and written about Dabo at Clemson not being positive and warm and embracing, of NIL and the portal and the way this new system works. Instead, we want to talk about, I'm not interested in a player who just wants to get paid. Well, you damn well better get interested, because every player wants to get paid now. And that's just the way it is.
And what are you saying? Listen, Brian Kelly, Clemson, Boise, you guys want to talk about how shitty NIL is? Do that over a steak and a glass of scotch. Not in front of microphones, not in front of cameras, not in front of the media.
Yeah.
You standing up there and talking about how you're not going to allow freshmen to cut NIL deals? Fuck out of here. Look, who's going? What freshman is like, man, I'm a top corner in the country. Let me go to Boise and not make NIL money. That's wild to me.
Yeah.
That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Anyway, I am quite disappointed we are here. I am quite disappointed we are here.
But I think it was an inevitability based on where things were headed. And I think that, this is why I continue to say, man, it is truly, in my opinion, the way I see the sport and the landscape, whatever the Super League God tier thing is going to be called, whatever the label is going to be,
but
it's
Jake,
going to happen.
The God tier is dead.
Yeah, well, not anymore. It's not, because when you've got conferences that have this much of a disparity in revenue, but they all share a college football playoff system, you're talking about lions and gazelles chilling in the same room, man. You're talking about apples and oranges here, man. Like, I don't think Brett Yormark's doing a bad job at all, but I don't think he's fighting the fight with the same amount of weaponry here, man. And that's where I say, dude, like, you need to level the playing field on some level.
So again, I just ask, what are the big brands in the Big 12?
You don't have any, and that's not the SEC or the Big Ten's fault.
No,
but
it's not.
But the problem is that you're also not a conference that is attractive to huge brands. Like, you're just not. I think that, like, every conference of the Power Four has sort of this image about it, right? Like, hey, you think SEC, you think national championships on the football field, right? You think Big Ten,
you think sign stealer guy.
You think sign stealer guy and hurdles and showers, right? You
Wow.
You think Big 12, you think basketball, and then solid football.
Buc-ee's
right?
barbecue sandwiches.
Yeah, pulled pork and lot lizards. We get it, right? Like that's what you think about. And so that's why I say with Brett Yormark in the Big 12, you're a wonderful basketball conference, but you need to find that next thing. And I don't know if that at this point, I don't know that that's a adding a big brand, because I'm not sure there's one available. I don't know if it's like, a new initiative in basketball or something. Like, they got to come up with something that's not been done.
I know.
Yet.
Let's get crazy. Win fucking football games.
But they're not going to do that,
right?
Man.
But
they're not going to do that.
I don't fully agree with that. I think the problem is we're in a right now business. You don't have time to wait for, Bald Ego down at Baylor to get fired. You don't have time to wait for Houston to develop.
Hold on. Did you just say bald eagle?
Yeah. Good old sweaty scalp down there. Hey, Dave, you do you, dude. You don't have time to wait for Dave Aranda to figure it out. You don't have time to wait for Houston to figure it out. Do you understand that Houston? What is Houston? What is Baylor? BYU. It's 5 years away.
At least.
Bro, this thing's going to be over in 2 minutes. You're telling me you want to wait 5 years? You got to win right now. You have to right now. You have legit 2 years. My opinion, based on conversations I've had with people, I think the God tier is 2 years away. That's the time that you have to show what you can do.
Well, think about how long it took to expand the college football playoff model.
Too long.
Right? But once that conversation started, right? Like, yeah, obviously it took too long. I think we've been asking for it for, since probably 2018. I think everyone was like, yeah, we probably need 8 teams, probably need 10 teams, probably need to expand this. But once it really got going, like once people really started talking about it, it took about 18 months, 2 years. Like that's the timeline. That's how long it takes to change something.
How long until we expand the NCAA tournament?
100%. Same conversation, right? Like, and that's where I say, again, like, I don't mean to hate on the Big 12, man, but you don't have the same, firepower that these other conferences have. It would be a different conversation if you were the SEC and you were bad at business, right? That's the Pac-12's conundrum. Hey, really good on the football field, better than
with
anyone
huge
knows
brands,
about.
USC,
huge brands.
Oregon, Washington competing for a national
you
championship.
Were making money. Turns out you were making money. You were just so bad on the P&L sheet that your conference burned down. So the problem is that the Big 12 is the opposite. The Big 12 is so damn good on the P&L sheet that they are surviving and they're getting by, but they don't have a way now to get to next.
James, why choose violence today? This is not my opinion. Remember, James says, if you aren't winning natties, your season is terrible. No. You know what the truth is? If you're not consistently competing for a national championship in college football, you are irrelevant and you are not making money. Congratulations on going to your stupid fucking nobody cares bowl game every year where your best players don't compete. Congratulations. Congratulations. I continue and I ask you again, and all of the people that want to sit here and fillet Mike Gundy, because I hear it in the comments section. I'm just going to ask you, when is the last time that you were like, wow, Mike Gundy's got Oklahoma State sitting at the top of the college football world?
Well, Monty, they went to the Big 12 championship game last year.
Here are their bowl games, and he goes to bowl games. Here are their bowl games. The Independence Bowl, the Insight Bowl, the Holiday Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Alamo Bowl. Okay, 2011, the Fiesta Bowl, you finished 3rd in the country. Great.
Okay, first good year.
You rebound from 12-1 to go 8-5, Heart of Dallas, Cotton Bowl, Cactus Bowl, Sugar Bowl, where you lost and you finished 20th in the country. Alamo Bowl, Camping World Bowl, Liberty Bowl, Texas Bowl, Cheez-It Bowl, Fiesta Bowl in 2021, 12-2. You win it, you finish 7th in the country. Oh, wait, that's right. You weren't competing for a national championship that year either. Guaranteed Rate Bowl, the Texas Bowl. You have not been relevant in at the top of college football, but 1 year perhaps back in 2011. And you want to say that that's good enough.
So when you say if winning is the standard, James, I got news for you, Slick. Dude's not winning.
You're not winning.
Dude is going to average ass, nobody cares bowl game.
Do you understand? Look at his records. Look at his records. Since 2018. 7-6, 8-5, 8-3, 12-2, 7-6, 10-4 last year. It's not elite. That's not elite. That's not elite. And we can sit here and you want to talk about how you didn't need Bedlam. You didn't, like, if you look at Lincoln Riley in that same window at Oklahoma. See, this is a conversation you don't want to have.
Yeah, it is.
You woke up and you fucking chose violence. Well, get smacked in the face with the fact that Lincoln Riley's a better football coach than Mike Gundy is. At Oklahoma, his worst record in his 5 years at Oklahoma was 9-2, and they went to the Cotton Bowl that year and finished 6th in the country. His worst ranking in his 5 years when he was kicking the shit out of Mike Gundy was 10th in the country. Oh, he's terrible. Oh, my God. Oh. So remember Mike Gundy standing at the door, holding it open so Oklahoma could leave. I'll take Lincoln Riley every day over Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy is a solid coach. If you want to compete, you want to go to the Texas Bowl, and you want to go to the Valero Texas Bowl, and you want to go to the Heart of Texas Bowl, and you want to go to Buc-ee's and get a barbecue sandwich, and hey, cool, neat, all right. That's great. I want to win national championships.
Well, and I think the other part of the conversation with Lincoln too, and this is what I've always said about Lincoln, right? And it's what's defined his career, right? Not a national championship winner, but someone who's going to make your conference a lot of freaking money. And the way he's going to do that is he's going to go to big time bowl games. What was the bowl games that Lincoln would go to there in his window?
Lincoln Riley went to the Rose, the Orange, the Peach, the Cotton, and the Alamo Bowl.
So pretty big time bowl games there. Like those are nationally relevant big time bowl games. And the other thing that Lincoln is notorious for is Heisman Trophy winners. And the reason I bring that side of it up is because if Mike Gundy was, doing what he's doing, right? Typically a 7-8 win team. Typically 1 year he'll pop off for 10 or 12 wins and then he'll be right back to 7-8 wins. But every year he had a Heisman Trophy candidate, let's say, or he had he had something that made the program special, something that sort of set them apart and made you want to come to Stillwater. Then I wouldn't be as hard on him because at that point, kids want to come and play in your conference and at your school. But the very reason that Oklahoma was able to go with Texas to the SEC as a package deal is because of what Lincoln did. Lincoln put Oklahoma on the map in the sense of, hey, Oklahoma's a program that's big time and can compete at the top of college football. So I'm sorry. If you want to wake up and be a complete red ass in your comment about Mike Gundy, go ahead. But your winning standard is way too low in Stillwater. And the idea that people are celebrating this guy and like Mike Gundy's the best thing we've ever seen tells me everything I need to know about the Big 12, which is precisely the point I've been making this morning, which is cool. You have Brett Yormark, and he's done a lot of good things, and I love Brett. I think he's a great commissioner of the conference, man. I think you're in really good hands from that side of the conversation. The problem is Brett doesn't have head football coaches in his conference who, frankly, give a damn to move into the modern day of college football. And
correct.
That would be, Mike Gundy. Frankly, I throw Sonny Dykes into that a little bit. I would definitely throw Buddy at Texas Tech, Joey McGuire.
Buddy.
Right? I would definitely throw Dana Holgerson, who before he got fired at Houston, right? Like all these coaches that don't want to get on board and don't want to play the portal NIL game and want to complain and want to say, oh, well, all these kids want is to get paid. Yeah, you're damn right they do. Because what have you been doing the last decade? Oh, that's right. You've been getting paid to do what you do. And then we want to vilify the kid. And then we want to complain about why the Big 12 has only $500 million in revenue. So forgive me, James, for holding Mike Gundy to a bit of a higher standard than 8 wins a year. Sorry, dude. I know that's outlandish. I know it's outlandish.
I think the amazing part is that you have, He also says Mike Gundy is as successful as Utah's coach. I would remind you that Kyle Whittingham has an undefeated national championship season. When
Lincoln Riley's teams have no defense?
I'm just asking. When was Mike Gundy undefeated? And when was he ever a BCS buster? He's at a larger brand, Oklahoma State. And you're comparing him to Kyle Whittingham? Pull anybody in this country and ask them if they want Mike Gundy or Kyle Whittingham. They're taking Kyle Whittingham every single time. Every single time.
And you're going to find out this year.
It's wild to me that you truly believe that Lincoln Riley's defense is. Okay, so Lincoln Riley doesn't have defense. He's still a better football coach than Mike Gundy.
So let me get this right. Lincoln Riley averages 12 wins a year with no defense, and you're still taking Mike Gundy over
Why
him?
can't you just own the fact that Oklahoma State is the reason that right now today is the reason that the Big 12 has no brands. Why can't you own that? I don't understand it. It's this conference is never going to grow and succeed until people like Mike Gundy are no longer the head coach at Oklahoma State. When you quite literally say, I don't want to play Oklahoma, and then stand on the dais and cry after you beat Oklahoma, get out of here. It's embarrassing to me. It's Kyle Whittingham is 166 or 162 and 79. Mike Gundy's 166 and 79. How much better? And I would also remind you, he's at Utah, Kyle Whittingham, which is a much more difficult recruiting situation than Oklahoma State. The history of Utah football is Kyle Whittingham. He doesn't have Barry Sanders. He doesn't have Thurman Thomas. And yet, Kyle Whittingham's got better quarterbacks than you. Kyle Whittingham's a better recruiter than you are.
Which I might point out is really saying something about the quarterbacks.
Kyle Whittingham puts dudes in the NFL at a very high level. And Kyle Whittingham has a 13-0 Sugar Bowl season.
By the way,
and Kyle Whittingham has been to back-to-back Rose Bowls.
And I'd also point out,
what are we talking about?
We're trying to die on the Mike Gundy hill this morning. If we're going to compare Mike Gundy and Kyle Whittingham's record, why don't we compare the overall conference records on the football field? Because I'm pretty sure the Pac-12 has been a damn good football conference when you compare it to the Big 12.
They both have 100 wins in their conference.
Good
Kyle
Lord.
Whittingham's got 100 wins versus 60 losses. Mike Gundy's 102 and 63. And the Pac-12 was a superior football conference to the Big 12 in the last several years. So this is the theology. This is the thought with all due respect, Oak State James, your thought process and your belief system is why the Big 12 is where it is. Because you're happy being mediocre. You're happy being just not good enough. Not good enough. You're just, I just think that is in 2011, Oak State should have been given. I don't care what they should have been given.
Who are you, Florida State?
It's crazy to me. This is why we are what we are. Mike Gundy 7-3 against Texas. Who cares? Texas sucks, remember? You can't have it both ways. Texas sucks, but you're 7-3 against them. So now all of a sudden, that shitty Texas team, now you're going to put that up on a mantle that you're 7-3 against Texas. So does Texas suck and they're not back, or are they amazing and you beat them 7 out of 10 times?
And by the way, what have you done for me lately? Because you got embarrassed, dude.
Come on, man.
Like, honestly, in the championship game this past season.
Thank you. Alabama would have beat the brakes off of Oak State. At what point can we have an honest conversation about the Big 12? At least Big 10 fans, when we were talking about Michigan and at least they all acknowledge the conference sucks, right? At least.
Or did.
Did. At least in the ACC, most people agree the conference sucks in football, right? It's this kind of thought process.
I just don't understand why, why is it that Gundy's the one you want to die on the hill for? Like, I get it. You're an Oklahoma State guy. You work there. Like, I get the bias on some level, dude. I'll even, I'll hand you some of that. But to come in here with your first comment today and say that, Monty's opinion is that unless you win a national championship, you had a bad season is one of the dumbest things you've ever said on this show.
Yeah, it's pretty weak.
And I don't care about hurting your feelings on this because you came in here looking to be a red ass, and here we are.
When Gumby is out commenting you, Texas matters, but OU does not.
Well, if you're an Oklahoma State fan, OU doesn't exist. That's why you didn't want to play Bedlam.
Yeah, what's Bedlam? James over here drunk off Bucky's barbecue sandwiches, and it's clouding his judgment.
Clearly.
Exactly.
And I just don't understand it, dude.
Exactly. Christopher Shannon, don't listen to him, James. Oak State would be good in the SEC or the Big Ten. I love it. If Monty is picking the Big Ten over the Big 12, then you know he's serious. All I'm saying is, and listen, I'm a Notre Dame fan. Trust me, I know mediocrity, and I know getting my ass beat by Alabama in a game of consequence. Ask Manti Te'o's never was dead girlfriend. Yeah, remember that year? My balls still hurt from that loss. And I have Marcus Freeman as my head coach. Trust me, I know mediocrity. Homeboy can't count past 10. Right? Come on. Dakota Tubbs, Oak State would definitely be better than Vanderbilt or Arkansas.
Well, we don't need to do this whole thing where we're trying to say Oak State in this conference or that. They're in the Big 12. They should, dude. And maybe this is the crowning moment of this conversation with James. When Utah wins the Big 12 in its first year in the Big 12 and they beat Oklahoma State twice to do it, what will you say then?
And the Kyle Whittingham thing is hysterical to me.
Yeah.
He got screwed out of a national championship when he was undefeated. Got screwed out of a national championship. It's remarkable. Like the BCS buster, Kyle Whittingham. And he's, I don't think, prayers up for Billy Napier, about to be gone, but never forgotten. Never remembered?
Idiot.
Did you mean to say never remember? Yeah. Good luck. Brady Cook, James, Oak State not projected to win the Big 12. Utah is. That can't be true, Brady.
Well, but check out his comment right here. Couple up right there. And this is what Oak State fans do right here. So my feelings aren't hurt. I'm ready for 2024. We have 20 returning starters. Okay. So you were in agreement for once now. Yeah. You damn well better have 20 returning starters because you're not a transfer portal school. So if he's going to bring someone in as a freshman, he's got to keep them all 4 years because he is not a transfer portal NIL guy.
How are you, and asking for a friend, how are you Oak State and you don't have a quarterback? How's that possible? You're the great Oak State. You're the best brand and the biggest, baddest mother in the Big 12.
Who's this year's Brandon Whedon, dude? Who's this year's Alan Bowman?
It's wild to me. It's wild to me. I think it's one of those things where we continue to see things, and maybe it is the Kyle Whittingham conversation. I don't know. Can you compare what Mike Gundy did at Oak State versus what Kyle Whittingham did at Utah? The guy went to back-to-back Rose Bowls. And
Lost,
2008, 13-0. 13-0. Like, that's the part of me that I don't understand. That's the part where I guess you just don't want to credit Kyle Whittingham for doing what he's done.
No, I think it's not even that. I think it's more that James doesn't want to credit or not even credit, but just doesn't want to be honest about the fact that Oklahoma State, while a solid 8-win team, has still disappointed. Like, you can't have it both ways. And I think that's the struggle. Oh, well, Mike Gundy's our head coach. Everything's amazing. Yeah, but James, what about those 7 and 8-win seasons that he is just lined out year after year? You're saying that's the pinnacle of success, and I'm saying that's the pinnacle of mediocrity. And that's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting. I think Kyle Whittingham probably will never get the credit he deserves. Everybody wants to go back and point at Urban Meyer. I think Urban Meyer was at Utah for 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's Kyle Whittingham's program. Kyle Whittingham has made Utah what they are. I don't know. I think it's a very interesting. Gundy is consistent. at being mediocre.
That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
Mike Gundy
James.
is consistently mediocre.
Like you're celebrating dude as if he's as if he's Nick Saban. Like what do you like what?
Hey, I just
Why okay, so why is it good to win 7 or 8 games a year and never never get further than that really? Like what you should be saying is, hey, cool, that's great. Kyle Whittingham got to the Rose Bowl, but he failed both times. And by the way, in the Ohio State game, they still should have found a way to win. They just played like crap after Cam got hurt.
Yeah, I don't understand it. And it's great. That's cool. You want to be consistently mediocre? Be mediocre. I don't care. Do you, James? You like going to Texas Bowls and games that are not consequential? Do it, man. Tanner says, bless you, Jake. Christopher Shannon says, playing Wyoming, Utah State, New Mexico, etc. in the old Mountain West. Why is it? And but I would remind you, again, I think there's a lot of credence in, okay, well, you had a weak ass conference schedule, and it's just not going to be good enough. Right. But I'd also remind you that year, the undefeated year, they beat Michigan that year, looking at their schedule. And just out of curiosity, do you guys remember who they played in the Sugar Bowl?
Well, they played Nobody's State, right?
They beat Alabama 31-17 in the Sugar Bowl.
Oh.
So we can sit here and we can say, oh man, there's just that they were playing in the Mountain West. They beat Michigan and Alabama, and they beat Alabama soundly. So I'm not going to sit here and downgrade anything that Kyle Whittingham did in 2008, undefeated, and he beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. I'm just not. I'm not. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
When your roster was Brian Johnson and your best wide receiver was probably Brandon Godfrey, right? And you're looking at, now you had a great, Paul Kruger was a stud. Koamisi was a stud. Like looking at that roster, and this is my point, he puts dudes in the NFL and he beats Alabama. But it's not good enough. And I would remind you, that was the BCS era. Utah was ranked first in 4 of the 6 BCS computer models. Utah finished 3rd in the Coley Matrix. Utah got screwed out of a national championship. Come on, man. It's wild to me that we're like, well, that was in the Mountain West. And he beat Alabama's ass and should have won the national championship.
Yeah.
But,
Anyway.
Tanner Plummer says, by the way, Paul Kruger and his family lived in my neighborhood growing up. Paul's a good dude. I always enjoyed talking to Paul. Nice guy. It is what it is, right? I think it is. I think it's really interesting that, anyway, can the Big 12 compete? That'll be the biggest question. Yeah. I think it is. Yeah. I think it's going to be very interesting to see if they compete. Kyle Whittingham is a great coach. So isn't Mike Gundy? Now, I'm not saying Mike's not a good coach. He's a mediocre guy. He is a guy that's consistently mediocre.
Yeah.
Doesn't recruit the best talent. Doesn't win big games. Has not consistently competed for a national championship.
He goes to your average ass bowl game every year. That's it.
I just don't understand why can we not say Mike Gundy has far more assets? He has far more tools than Kyle Whittingham. I don't know. Just T. Boone Pickens. But hey, he's got all the money in the world. He's got every advantage, and he doesn't win.
Best running back in the conference.
Kyle Whittingham doesn't have nearly the financial leverage that Oak State should have. Kyle Whittingham's not running from BYU. Kyle Whittingham's not talking about how I don't care if we ever play him again. Fuck him. Kyle Whittingham embraces the holy war. Kyle Whittingham, has he been slow to embrace NIL? I think he has been. But Kyle Whittingham's a hell of a football coach.
Yeah.
That's a guy who lives and dies with every snap of the football. And I just don't believe that Mike Gundy does. I think Mike Gundy likes his paycheck. I think Mike Gundy likes competing.
And he loves the media more.
And I think the biggest problem, you know what Mike Gundy loves? Mike Gundy loves Mike Gundy.
Yeah.
Mike Gundy thinks he is the creme de la creme. And I got news for you, coach. You're not. You're not. And I don't want to hear a goddamn thing from anybody at Oklahoma State if Mike Gundy does not win the conference championship and go to the college football playoff this year. If he does not win the Big 12 championship, Mike Gundy should retire. He should resign. He won't, and you won't ask him to. He should. Oak State James, Utah has Rice Eccles. It's a really good football stadium. Great home field advantage. Okay, who cares? Who cares about their stadium? Utah's got a great stadium. I'm talking about the bread, bro. I'm talking about the money. I'm talking about the boosters. I'm talking about the collectives. Never mind. Boston mates, Witt would have won a chip had he been at Oak State in Gundy's place. Probably. They were national champions in 2008, and I'll fight to the death on that. They to do what he did. Oh, but Monty and played the Mountain West and beat Alabama's ass. Oh, my Monty, no buts.
Oh, but Monty,
no buts. Mike Gundy likes being a man. He does, and he likes being 40. Yeah, Tanner, wish Witt chose to coach BYU back in 2005.
Yeah, well, he didn't. So keep
his alma mater. Rick Forrester, I would go to war with Mike Gundy. Okay. Boston Mapes, Witt trolls the holy war anytime it comes up, but he loves playing it.
Yes.
He loves playing it.
How do you not?
Loves it.
How do you not love playing
And for those of you who don't know, Kyle Whittingham went to BYU, and it's kind of a whole thing. And I love it. I love that Kalani loves it. I love that Witt loves it. I do. You'll never be able to wonder. You'll never have to wonder, is Kalani Sitake really all in? Does he want to win? Does Kyle Whittingham really want to? Is he all? Hell yes. You don't ever have to wonder. Should Kyle resign if they do not win the Big 12 title and win the college football playoff? Of course not. Stop with the hyperbole. It's not hyperbole. If Mike Gundy does not win the Big 12, because you have to remember, Mike, Oklahoma State is this amazing school with these amazing kids that play football there. They've got 20 returning starters. They've got the best coach in the country that anybody's ever seen in Mike Gundy. And little old Kyle Whittingham and his Jits, they're coming in here to get their sacrificial lambs for a guy like Mike Gundy at Oak State. Oh, Utah.
Those damn Mormons. We're not letting them win the conference.
Utah.
It's not hyperbole. It's
We're
reality.
Oak State. We're Oak State. All we do is consistently put shitty football teams on the field who don't compete for national championships. Utah. We're talking about Utah? What have they ever done? It's not hyperbole. Look at James. James is talking about how Oak State, he's their pick to win the conference by almost nobody. Their pick to win the conference. Mike Gundy, legend, who is remarkably mediocre on a consistent basis. So is it hyperbole? Just wondering. Is it hyperbole? JB Skis. Can't wait for TCU to smack them both.
Horn Frog Nation, man.
If TCU is good, the Big 12 is a better conference. And I think this is very correct. I think TCU, Sonny Dykes is a hell of a coach. And I hope that he comes back, and I hope that they win. I do. This conference needs TCU. It's why Baldy down in Waco is such a problem. The great scalp sweater is a problem. And again, we can sit here and talk about like BYU. BYU needs to win 8 games. BYU needs to be a top 20 team.
Good luck with that.
And it's going to be very difficult. The mountain is big and the climb is steep. But you need Houston to win now.
And that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. To get back, now that James has completely derailed the show, to get back to the original point, I just don't know that the Big 12 right now has the firepower it needs to get to where it wants to go.
I don't know. Boyd Lake, the bulging veins on the side of Whittingham's dome, says he's all in, and his huge throbbing calves.
Oh, I thought we were going a different direction.
The calves of Kyle Whittingham.
Dude, man.
Daniel Dixon, when Iowa State starts taking down Oklahoma State in football, would they finally wake up? The times have changed. I'm telling you right now that Iowa State
show up.
And I still want to have a talk with my friends in Lubbock. That should be 10 wins this year.
And it won't be. It won't be.
I am telling you, you look at the schedule and you look at Texas Tech and it's Abilene Christian. Please do not be this year's Laramie disaster.
God bless.
Washington State, North Texas 3-0, Arizona State 4-0, Cincinnati 5-0, at Arizona 6-0, Sweaty Scalp in Lubbock 7-0, and I think your first real test is at TCU.
Yeah. So is
that's October 26th.
Is the Cincinnati game home or away?
Cincinnati is in Lubbock.
In Lubbock, so they should win that game.
The road games are at Washington State. You should win that game.
Well, but see again, in maybe I'm an asshole here, but are we really? Yes, I am an asshole. Are we really that confident in Joey? Like,
no. My point is they should be 7-0. They don't have. Do you guys understand? They play on the road at the Palouse on September 7th. They don't play another road game for a month. And that road game is only in Tucson at Arizona. You could ride your e-bike to Tucson from Lubbock. Just don't go through El Paso.
Well, Monty, the equipment bag's a little heavy for the e-bike, you know.
Don't go through El Paso. At TCU, at Iowa State, which I think is probably their first loss.
But see, this is my point with Texas Tech. Like, we can sit here and be like, yeah, they should beat this team. But the reality is they should have beat Wyo, and you didn't. You should have beat a bunch of people last year, and you didn't.
I agree, but those excuses are. You got Brooks back. Baron Morton looks locked and loaded. Let's hope this shoulder thing's no big deal. This is a 2-loss. This is a 2-loss team. I think it's going to be very difficult to go to Iowa State and go to Stillwater.
I'm skeptical of the TCU game too. I'll be honest with you.
Call it 3. Call it 3. You are on the verge. If you lose 2 games, if Texas Tech only loses 2 games, you're on the verge of a college football playoff spot.
Agreed. I think if you can just, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but hear me out. If you can just get by that Washington State game in week 2, I agree. You're probably a 2-loss team. The reason I say the Washington State game is sketch is because going there, even when they're bad, is still not easy to do.
Now, how about the almighty Mike Gundy, the best coach in the country that anybody's ever heard of?
Right.
South Dakota State.
Win.
Arkansas.
At Arkansas?
No.
Home? That's a win.
At Tulsa.
Win.
Home for Utah.
Loss.
At Kansas State. Loss.
You think that's a loss?
Kansas State on paper looks pretty good. We'll see.
Give it to them as a win for now.
Okay, so you're 1 loss.
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah,
you're 4-1.
You're 1 loss. Utah, you lost to Utah.
Home for West Virginia.
Win.
5-1. At BYU.
I mean, I want to call that a win, but going there is never easy.
October 18th, if that's a night game.
Yeah.
All right, 6-1. At Baylor, 7-1. Arizona State, 8-1. TCU, 9-1. Texas Tech.
Oh man, dude. See, and this is the problem. I want Texas Tech to be good. Like, I want Texas Tech to be a 10-win team. But I just don't have faith. Like,
So you finish at Colorado. So if you're not 11-1, is this season disappointing?
based on the schedule, I would say yeah. But again, injuries,
Be 11-1.
you know,
No. No excuses. No excuses. This team should be at a minimum 10-2 and probably 11-1. What about Utah? Utah Jits. Southern Utah, Baylor, at Utah State, at Oklahoma State. Okay, let's call it 3-1.
So you're saying they lose to Oklahoma State?
Maybe I'm giving Oklahoma State the benefit of the doubt. 3-1.
3-1.
Arizona 4-1. At Arizona State 5-1. TCU 6-1. At Houston 7-1. BYU 8-1. At Colorado 9-1. Iowa State at home 10-1. At UCF 10-2. Playing for a conference championship. Going to the college football playoff.
I'm saying, like,
it would be a disappointment if Utah doesn't win 10 games.
how many wins? How many wins did Utah have last year?
56.
Like, weren't they 8 wins last year?
56. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
I try to forget. Utah last year, I think, I could be wrong. Let me look. Hold on. Settle the fuck down. Relax. Last year in the Pac-12, I think they were 8-5, but where is it? 8-5.
8-win team with no quarterback, no tight end, and no running back.
Lots of injuries on defense, but no excuses.
Yeah. No, I'm not justifying it. I'm just trying to show you, hey, dude, last year with basically nothing to work with, that was an 8-win team. So,
and I would remind you that they played a much more difficult schedule last year. When you look at, they played Florida, win. Their losses were at Oregon State, home for Oregon, where they got their doors blown off
by a college football playoff team.
Took Washington to the limit, 35-28. Lost to Arizona, 42-18, and then lost their bowl game.
So, like, no quarterback, again, no running back, pretty much no wide receivers to speak of, and you were still an 8-win team. So all I'm saying is, with a healthy Utah Utes team, I feel more confident saying Utah under Kyle Whittingham is 10+ than Oak State would be under Gundy with their roster.
Oh, James, dude, you need to put the reefer down, bro. I believe in the Big 12. I'm not smoking anything. The SEC has 3 great teams: Alabama, LSU, and Georgia. Yeah, fuck Texas. I mean, if we're being honest, Texas is terrible.
So is Oklahoma then.
So Texas isn't a great team with their 47 quarterbacks who could be starting on pretty much any team. Nah, Monty. Monty, you goddamn out. You finally lost your mind, Monty. Yeah, Texas sucks.
But, you've also... So let me get this right.
What are you doing today?
You don't respect Ole Miss. You don't respect...
I
think Oak State would have trouble beating Ole Miss. I think Oak State
Texas
would have
A&M.
trouble... A&M, yeah, I mean, inconsistent, but tough team.
They would have a tough... You're telling me that Georgia... I think Missouri will take a step back. I think Tennessee is going to be very good again. But you're telling me that you don't believe that Ole Miss is the best team in the Big 12 right now. You're telling me that you don't believe that Texas... I'm not even... James, dude, some days I think you just wake up and you're like, what's the dumbest thing I can say now? Oh, yeah, Texas, they're not a national championship team.
Uh-huh.
Okay. They're not a national... They're not elite. Nope. Yeah, exactly. Texas isn't back. Flash in the pan.
Like, I look at, like, Auburn as a great example of, like, how deep the SEC is. Like everyone always says, "Oh, Auburn sucks. They're terrible. They're
Auburn
like,
sucks.
dude." You look at their season last year; they lose 27-20 to Georgia, right? Like you look at loss 28-21 to Ole Miss, like 27-24 loss to Alabama. Like they're taking these teams to the absolute limit, man. Like
You understand that you're talking about an Auburn team. They're not good right now. Florida's not good right now. I would agree with that. I think Georgia's probably an 11-1 team. I think Kentucky is going to be close to a 10-win team. LSU's probably going to win 10 games.
But I'm just saying, like you look at the secondary team in the SEC, and this is kind of my point about the Big 12. Ole Miss would run the Big 12. Like Auburn would run through the Big 12. Like I don't have any doubt about that, bro. Well, if you're really telling me that you believe that an Auburn team who loses by one possession to Georgia, you think that you would just they're no problem.
I'm telling you.
Come on, man.
I'm telling you, Missouri probably wins 10 games. Ole Miss wins 10 games.
God, I didn't even think about Missouri.
Bama wins 10 games. Because Burden's back.
Yeah.
So I think Missouri will win 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
I would think Texas is probably going 12-0. Bama's probably 11-1 based on their
You think
schedule.
Texas goes undefeated in the SEC?
Yes. Texas is so over the top. There's a game in there they always lose. Call it 11 wins. There's a game they always lose. But you have to consider the fact that your offense at Alabama, do you guys understand that? Listen. I understand that Alabama's always going to be talented. Does Jalen Milroe win the Heisman Trophy? He's that good.
He is.
I understand there's a lot of hype that comes out of Tuscaloosa. The hype coming out on him this summer already has been ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the concerns about DeBoer and like where that program's going it seems like they've subsided a bit. I don't really hear too much talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, I would need to look at what is Alabama's road. Let's look at who Alabama plays on the road. Because I think their one loss, I had their one loss at LSU on November 9th. Their road games, their schedule's so easy. Western Kentucky, South Florida, at Wisco. Camp Randall's never an easy place to play, but I think they're 3-0. And then obviously the Georgia game, but that's at Bryant-Denny. I think they win that game.
Mm-hmm.
So you're 4-0. Vandy 5-0. South Carolina is going to be sub 500. You're 6-0. Rocky Top at Tennessee.
You never know, dude. I call that a loss because that's on the road.
Okay, 6-1.
Yeah.
Missouri 7-1. At LSU. I think they win at LSU.
Yeah, got to know what the quarterback situation is at LSU.
8-1. Mercer 9-1. Oklahoma 10-1. And I think the Iron Bowl they win 11-1.
Yeah.
Could they be 10-2? Yes. Yes,
I
they
think
could.
that's the minimum. See, like, and that's the difference, James, and everybody else who's a Big 12 homer. That's the difference. In the SEC, your expectation is 10 wins. Great years, 12 wins.
And look how much more difficult Georgia's schedule is. Clemson, Tennessee Tech. Let's call it 2-0. At Kentucky, at Alabama.
4-0.
That's why I think you're playing Clemson, at Kentucky, at Alabama. You're not 4-0. You're not going undefeated with three of the four most difficult teams on your schedule are front-loaded. Auburn, Mississippi State, at Texas, October 19th.
See, this is so when I look at this schedule, this is what stands out to me. I agree that those 3 out of the first 4 weeks, those are good teams for sure. But let's say that you found a way to go 4-0 in those first 4 weeks. You're going to go to Auburn and lose, right?
No, you're home for Auburn.
Oh, you're home for Auburn. Okay.
5-0. Home for Mississippi State, 6-0. If you go undefeated there. At Texas, here's where your balls get put back in a vice.
Yeah.
At Texas, home for Florida. At Ole Miss, Tennessee. UMass and Georgia Tech. You're not winning those stretches of games. 3 out of your first 4 are really difficult, with 2 of them on the road. And then you go with this stretch of at Texas, Florida, at Ole Miss, Tennessee. That's 4 more games where you're going to probably win 2 of those 4, but you're probably going to lose to Texas. And my guess is your Lane Train's going to run your ass over.
See, like that is a national championship worthy schedule.
Yeah,
right
you
there.
you go undefeated, forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget about it. It's Jalen Milroe's a scrub. Yeah, well, I think he showed last year he's not a scrub. I think. It is what it is. Running back, welcome to the nightmare. Running back with Penny Harvey along with KJQB, a lot of potential, and I'm thinking we still will be an 8. Well, maybe. I mean, if you can run the football now, I think Oak State and I think Neil Brown showed that you got to have a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Mike Smith, SEC, add that extra conference game in week 11 instead of those cupcake teams.
Now, I agree.
But why would you? But why would you?
Yeah.
And I love this argument, Mike.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I mean, you're not incentivized for the SEC to do that, but I do agree.
You're not at all.
They should be forced to do it, I think. But
you're not at all. You're not at all incentivized to do that. And I don't know, the Alabama conversation is really interesting because I think a lot of people downgrade Kalen DeBoer, and I just would not do that.
Well, I think the hard part is Nick Saban set such an exceptionally high bar for Alabama that I think people are just, anytime you replace a legend like that, I think there's, there's questions. Hey, like, what is the fall off? Because it's not if there's going to be fall off. There will be fall off. But the question is, hey, are we falling off to 9 wins or are we falling off to 11 wins?
Well, and you look at the portal, and I know according to Oak State James, Texas sucks. But, Isaiah Bond from Alabama, probably a number 1 receiver on most rosters. Matthew Golden from Houston. Silas Bolden from Oregon State. Yeah, he sucks too.
Terrible.
Amari Niblack from Alabama. Trey Moore from UTSA, who can really play. Like, I mean, like Andrew Makubu from Clemson, guy can play. Bill Norton from Arizona. Jermaine Lowley from Louisville. Forget it, dude. Like, what are we even talking? Like, how does Texas suck? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't.
Anyway.
They don't. And so my point is, everybody who's like, oh, Texas isn't a great team. Okay. Good luck with that.
Where are we at in society today?
Good luck with that. And you let me know just exactly what your bar is, because Texas is exponentially more talented in this case than Oak State, certainly than Notre Dame. Right? Like, certainly than Notre Dame.
Texas is more talented than 9 out of 10 squads. I think that's not even controversial. I think that Texas is that team that is a huge brand and is always going to have top end talent. And they deserve a lot of credit for that. Like, they've built that.
Yeah, Texas is deep, and their portal is wild to me. But anyway, my point is, in all of this, I truly believe that this is going to be one of those years where we just don't know. We don't know how good these teams will be until they play each other. And I think Alabama is going to have a significantly better season than most people give them credit for. And it's the fact that you're losing that level of talent to the draft and you're still deeper and more talented than you were last year. Sark is doing the job in Austin.
Yeah.
Right. And the guy that lost a lot of talent, and we're going to have to wait and see, obviously, is DeBoer at Alabama. But we'll see. What are you looking at?
James's Texas comment there.
Texas lost 2 really good defensive tackles. Their defense won't be as good as it was last year. Okay.
Man, bro, if they got a little attrition on defense, they're still very good, man.
I'm asking for a friend, man. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you look at James, I continue. You make it so easy. Bro, you say stuff that you can't back up.
Well, Monty, Mike Gundy's the best coach there's ever been, man. Best coach there's ever been.
I'm trying to understand. Like, I'm trying. Anyway.
What does anyone else got to say?
You make it so easy when you say stuff like that.
By the way,
yes, they do, Santiago.
We would be remiss not to say it's supposed to be Giving Friday today, and it's supposed to be Caps Lock Friday today.
It is supposed to be Giving Friday today.
Yeah,
and
so,
we got derailed.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Yeah,
I am humbled by your contributions to the show. We usually on Fridays give away memberships. We try to do Giving Friday every Friday.
When I decide to show up. Yeah.
Truth. It is 20 past the hour. We have 40 minutes left in the show. I would love to find, with 40 minutes, I'd love to find 40 people to get, or 40 subscriptions to be donated. And if we do that, we'll give away a $100 Amazon gift card to one person who donates memberships.
We show up.
That's what
Oak State James excluded, obviously.
Yeah, Oak State James
excluded, obviously. Yeah.
Because I don't want to give you a $100 Amazon gift card because I think you'll buy more weed with it.
Hey, James, dude, are you still sick, taking all the meds and everything, or where are we at with that?
Yeah,
like,
I'm concerned that James,
if you came into the comments and said, yeah, you know what, I'm on some pretty strong pain meds or something, or like some flu medicine or something, this would make a little more sense.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. So
yeah,
there we go. All right, and the giving has begun. Mike Smith, Mountain Mama. 35 to go. Thank you, Mike, for getting us off to a good start. Oak State James gifts one Monty Show membership. Thank you, James. If you promise not to buy weed with the Amazon gift card, you can't. If you promise not to keep shrooming with the Amazon gift card, you're in the running for the Amazon gift card.
Yeah.
So there you go. The Ghost of Gumby says, thank you, Mike Smith.
Thank you.
There you go. Dakota Tubbs gifts 20 Monty Show memberships.
Okay.
So we are now at 26. We're just 14 memberships away.
In like 3 minutes.
That's awesome, you guys. That's awesome.
Pick them up. Pick them up.
Let's go. Pick them up. Pick them up. Pick them up. Pick them up. I love it. You guys are amazing.
Oh, yeah, people picking them up.
Everybody's picking them up.
Let's go, baby.
I love it. I love it. So appreciate you. Justin Jackson, Jay Brannon, Dakota Tubbs hooking everybody up. Scott of Greywater Watch, Jay McClanahan. Look at everybody picking up the memberships. Let's go. Let's go. So we've got, what is that? 26, 14 more to go. 14 more gifted memberships to go. Let's do it. Appreciate you. Let's see. The Ghost of Gumby says yes. UW fan Jim Roma Dunze. The only question for Texas, will the hold up physically in a much stronger conference? I think they dropped 2 games while adjusting. Very much could be. Very much could be. Very much could be. Keith Carl says, I'll take one. Well, somebody's got to give one because I think they're all gone now. John Dry, I forgot about Giving Friday. It's been so long since there's been a Friday show.
Dude,
wow.
you're really pushing your limits now, dude.
Wow.
You're
John Dry coming in. Coming in. I love it.
Fuck up, Donnie.
Tanner Plummer, if Emperor McNabb played for Gundy, he would have won a national title.
Okay.
He probably would have thrown up on the field he would have thrown up on the field. Hey, there we go. UW fan Jim. Let's go. Another membership. Appreciate you. 27. So we're just 13 to go. Oak State James, my favorite British author, N.T. Wright, will be in Houston on June 9th to the 12th, and I will be there.
Bro.
You paid $5 to tell us that.
James, dude, what? I need to know what you're on, dude. I might need some of that. That's pretty legit.
Ferris Khan. Ferris, don't disappoint us.
Yeah, don't mess it up, dude. Please.
Crazy that Texas is favored over Michigan and Ann Arbor. It should be probably a pick 'em. No, it shouldn't. Texas is significantly deeper and more talented than Michigan is. Significantly. Oh, look at that. OG Gary, let's go. 20 Monty Show memberships.
So that's it.
No, we're oh, yeah, that is it.
Yeah, we're
over
the number.
And OG, did you give 20 more?
Damn.
That's 40, 60, 5, 67.
There you go. Pick them up.
67.
Pick them up. Pick them up.
I mean, does that automatically give OG Gary the win?
Yeah, I mean,
He
I'm
gave
done.
away 40 memberships.
I mean, OG Gary, you'll auto win if you can say LSU sucks. But,
Why? He's done such a nice thing for us.
he has. I appreciate you, Gary. I mean, yeah, I'm good. I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can send Buddy a gift card. Yeah.
I like it.
Well, how much you want to send him?
Oh, and look at that. Caps Lock Friday. Coop. Let's go.
There's my guy.
That's 80.
Caps Lock Friday.
5, 6, 7. 87. You guys, that's 87. Can we get 13 more?
He's back.
Who?
Buddy is back.
Oh, Bigfoot Duck.
Where have you
Bigfoot Duck,
been?
where have you been?
Dude.
Morning, boys. Too damn early on the West Coast. Let's go.
Holy cow. Bigfoot's back.
You guys, let me just count these up and make sure.
Count him up.
20, 40, 60, 80, 5, 6, 7, 13 more
to 100
to get to 100. If we get 13 more, we'll give away another $100 Amazon gift card.
So
I think
Gary's got one.
OG Gary's got a $100 Amazon gift card.
Okay.
No doubt about it. 13 more.
Okay.
Wow, you guys, that was amazing. In 4 minutes.
Yeah.
The Ghost of Gumby says, shout out to Mo Bamba.
Shout out to Mo Bamba.
Cam Harrison says, shout out to Mo Bamba.
Shout out to Mo Bamba.
Mike, don't call me Mikkel Chase. Thanks, Dakota Tubbs, for the membership. Let's go.
Thank you.
I love it. 1984 says, thank you. James says, don't do it, Gary. LSU does not suck. In fact, I'm picking LSU to be in the SEC title game.
You're just being a red ass about it, dude.
That's great. Oh, look at that. Dakota Tubbs with 10 more.
Hey.
So now we just need 3 more memberships to get to 100, and we'll give away another 100.
Let's go, baby.
Wow, you guys are amazing. Flexing hard. That's amazing. See, this is what we do. Giving Friday is phenomenal. That's why I love Giving Friday until we lost our minds. Whoa, 10 more. Yes. 10 more. Mike Smith, let's go, Putin's play toy. That's amazing. Dakota Tubbs, LSU sucks. Okay, there we go.
Hey, there you go.
There we go. There we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. UW fan Jim Romadunze with 5 more Monty Show. Is that 100?
Well, and Caps Lock.
And Caps Lock Friday. We did it.
Let's go, baby. Okay, so now we got to figure out who gets the second one.
And James, the stadium guy, 5 more. Let's go, you guys. Love it.
Damn.
Love it. Love it.
That's a hell of a performance right
All right,
there, bro.
nominations. Who should now? James has had a tough day on the show. James has had a tough day on the show. Did we give the $100? He has begged every week. The best part about James is he's like, dude, I've got new books I need to read.
On the Kindle, man.
Do we give it to Oak State James, who has repeatedly gotten his Mike Gundy mullet handing ass kicked on this show for like.
I'll drop that motherfucker.
I think we probably should. I think we probably should.
No. Ask comment section. What's comment saying?
James earned it this morning. I don't disagree, Gumby. Who says James is awesome? Okay, so we give one to OG Gary.
Yeah.
James needs it to buy Theraflu. See me on the big screen. Caps Lock Friday Coog says James for the win. I am biased. I wear orange-colored glasses, but I need more books.
Thank you.
Give it to Coog. He lost his P5 status. the Washington fan stepping up for the Washington State fan. Logan says James wins. Go Pokes. LOL. All right, there you go.
There you go.
Oak State James, you won the other $100 Amazon gift card.
Razzle dazzle.
Actually, my fever broke 3 days ago. Who would know?
So you're sweating it out like they do in Waco, huh?
Who would know? Right? Who would know? You guys are amazing. 112 new members on the show.
That was gas.
You guys are amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome, dude.
Amazing. OG Gary, Oak State James, Oak State James, when you guys get together tonight to say goodnight, just get his email. You probably have his email address. You can.
Macaque.
I'm just saying. The Buffalo Hunter. Utah fans are cocky jerks, but we expect big wins. Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. New gamer tag, Sweaty Waco.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're welcome. You're welcome. I show up every day.
Yeah, you do.
Welcome to the nightmare. James needs to get more Mike Gundy biographies. I agree. James, call Jake and tell him you love him to see if he responds.
Hey, two holes.
Love you too, buddy.
Oh, money.
I'm serious. We're going to go to Baytown, Texas and do a meetup. Who wants to go?
You know,
Maybe we should do the Texas. What is Texas's? Maybe we should all meet up at a Texas game.
Let's ride.
What do you guys think? Maybe we should do it. Maybe we should do the when is that? Maybe we should do where's Texas's schedule? Texas has Texas football. Who's the best home game for Texas? UTSA, no. Oklahoma, Florida. Maybe do we go to Stillwater? Do we go to Stillwater but is there a Buc-ee's in Stillwater, Oklahoma?
Okay, I'm looking up Buc-ee's. I need to see what this place looks like.
We need to see it. I would agree with that. There's not a great Texas game like Texas, Georgia. Maybe we go to Texas, Georgia. Who wants to do a meetup at Texas, Georgia? Welcome to the nightmare. I've been waiting for the Hey Two Holes soundbite. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, two holes.
Kay Sumbry says Utah versus. Well, we could absolutely do that. Go to the SMU game. They own the Dallas market. Exactly. Sumbry says yes. Stillwater. Texas versus Georgia. That's in Austin. So see, that's in Austin. So we could go to Buc-ee's. Texas James says Texas has amazing concessions. Trust me, it'd be worth it just for the food. Did you just call me fat?
Yeah, like, come on, dude. You've already been mean enough today. Like,
I think he just called me fat. I think he did. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Exactly. Absolutely do a Texas game and tailgate at Buc-ee's. Okay, well, maybe that's what we do. I mean,
we'll check the budget. We'll check it. Talk about it. We'll converse about it.
So you're refusing to do a meetup?
I'm not refusing. No, we need to talk about it. And
why are you refusing?
I'm not refusing. I'm not. But I'm not going to be like, yeah, we're doing this before we have a chance to look at it.
Okay. Pussy. Tanner,
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
But Monty, if Texas loses, will you be okay? I'm not a Texas fan.
We show up.
It's people like Oak State James who makes me defend Texas when he says stupid stuff like, I don't have a defensive line.
Why don't you fuck off?
Your mom's going to run for 100 on him. Yeah, I ran for 100. Never mind. Whoa. Isn't Texas, Georgia the same week as Boss Frog is coming to Utah? They may not work. Oh, is he coming to Utah?
Oh.
Keith Carl, Buc-ee's is nothing more than a portal to a much better world than your own. That's what I'm saying. You know, you have Buc-ee's in Florida? No, well, you can get Gator tickets pretty easily because they're terrible.
Gator.
You know, Ghost of Gumby. Uncle Monty needs his Bucky's pro rata he deserves.
That's right.
All I've heard about is their stupid barbecue sandwich. Jake is refusing. He is. Damian Fowler. Jake would rather tailgate at QT in Texas so he can get those taquitos off the roller. Man, if we go to Kansas City, I'm all in, bro. Isn't that right?
Sure.
The closest Bucky's to Austin is in Temple, and it's an hour away. Is that true?
Guess we're not going to Austin.
Jeremiah Champion. I see it's still pick on Jake Day. LOL. Morning, guys. Every
And
day.
it sucks.
No, it doesn't.
I'm still a human
No, you're not.
because I don't want them to see me down.
Right?
I just try to stand strong.
Mike Smith, you stronger. Texas might kick out those out-of-state Catholic Mormons from Utah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You know us Mormons. It's how we roll and stuff.
Show up.
Monty, let's be real here. Hey, Monty. You've been a big Texas fan for the past years now. But see, everyone's Texas isn't back, bro. They're not back. Texas sucks.
F Texas. Well,
How'd that work out, Florida State?
yeah.
Yeah. Not well. J2H will only go if they have food on rollers. See
Damn
what we're
right.
doing here?
Yep.
Monty is a Notre Dame fan through and through, and it's not fun. The Florida man. UCF versus Utah and Orlando on Black Friday. Do it. Oh, my God. Golf? That would be amazing. San Diego State Glen, nothing stupid about that Bucky's barbecue brisket sandwich, Monty. Haven't had one. And I need one in my life. I need one in my life. I do. I freely admit that I need one. Mike Smith, Monty is a secret Texas fan. OG Gary is not having this dual team fanship from Monty. I'm not. I'm just, is adamant that the statement okay. Callie Hawk says, thanks for the membership. You're welcome. All right. Before we leave, can we talk about pizza?
This is a disrespectful question right out the gate, in my opinion, what we're about to talk about.
Is Costco pizza better than Domino's pizza?
Yes, dude.
Domino's pizza once a year is not the worst thing in the world. It's not good. Costco pizza is on a different level, though. Now, it's speaking of Oak State James, because we all know that Oak State James likes pepperoni. Let's not even.
Right, the
front.
meat. Yeah.
The meat?
Yeah.
I shouldn't say this out loud. I'm a sausage fan.
Dude.
I
Really?
want sausage, mushroom, and onion pizza. I will have my vengeance. I am a big fan of Costco pizza. It's a little too greasy for me because they use a lot of cheese. But from the way that they slice their pizza to the quality and the thickness, I am thank you. I am a big fan of Costco pizza.
Yeah.
I think Costco's better than any of the fast food pizzas. I call it the Domino's,
in size
Pizza
matters,
Huts.
right? Size matters. So
size and thickness.
yeah, I mean, the pie you're getting at Costco is larger, and it's bomb. Frankly, I mean, it's good
It is very good, and I'm a huge fan of it.
and it's cost effective.
Now, would you rather have Costco or would you rather do Papa Murphy's?
On a regular basis, Papa Murphy's, just because the quality's higher. Like, I think that's the trade-off. Like, so if I'm comparing Costco to Domino's, that's a fair comparison. But Costco to like Papa Murphy's or a little bit higher end of a pizza brand, I think is not a fair comparison.
Mod Pizza or Domino's?
Mod. Yeah, Mod Pizza.
You
Yeah.
even take Mod Pizza
I
over
do.
Domino's.
Yeah,
so
'cause
you
it-
hate Domino's.
I don't hate it. I just think it's just low key. It's the Taco Bell of pizza, dude. Like,
It's the Taco Bell of
yeah,
pizza.
like Mod Pizza is better than Domino's. There's no doubt.
All right. Papa John's is also good. I don't even
See, and this is where you lose me, OG Gary. The idea that you would bring up Papa John's.
You fucking donkey.
Totino's Party Pizza, bro.
Totino!
Tostinos. I haven't had pizza rolls in so long. UW fan Jim, I love Costco pizza. Tanner Plummer, does Papa Murphy still support the show? Yes, we still have a promo code with them.
Yeah.
But going to mornings, doing 2 hours, like we had to pair some. It's fine. Mod over Domino's for sure.
100%.
I agree. No carb diet. What makes best cauliflower crust pizza? Costco has great cauliflower. Great. Mod pizza over Domino's. See, we all agree. Casey's Pizza is awesome, Stepanik says. Never had it.
Well, Monty, at this stadium, this is the pizza you get.
Speaking of which, Oak State James, AJ's Pizza in Manhattan, Kansas is absolutely phenomenal. Best New York style pizza outside of New York State. But see, you misspelled shitty. You spelled it BEST. There's no such thing as best New York pizza.
No.
New York pizza is garbo. Should I wait for you guys to comment in pain? Because you will.
Because it's garbage.
Glenn, Domino's is a shadow of what it used to be. I
Yes,
agree.
it is.
I agree. Dakota, this whole conversation, regardless of stance, all ends the same. It ends with having mad mud butt water. Okay.
Mad mud butt water.
Okay. Somebody says mod is definitely better. I agree. Papa John's is good around here. It is? Papa John's Schnatter? Caps Lock Friday Coog. Domino's and Pizza Hut are both trash now. Yes, they are. The garlic crust on Domino's is good, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Dakota. I'm glad to see that none of the memberships given away didn't go to Mr. Loner Phone. He doesn't need a loner membership.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn.
Well, he ejected himself from the member chat, so there's not much that I can do about that. Mapes. Okay. Domino's is gross because it has sweetness to it, and that's just wrong.
Okay.
Okay. OG Gary, trust me, I'm fat first. I know what I'm talking about. Papa John's stepped up their pizza game.
Fat.
Even I was surprised. I used to have the same take, Jake. Had. Okay, there you go. Chuck E. Cheese. I ain't been to a Chuck E. Cheese cam in
So long.
a lifetime. Damian Fowler, yes, Casey's Pizza is awesome. It's a Midwest thing. Okay. Costco only has one good pizza, pepperoni. Stop. Why do you say stuff like that?
OG, you were having such a good show, too. Like, that's a comment that could possibly rescind your Amazon card. Dude. That's embarrassing.
Nobody likes pepperoni pizza.
I mean, that's literally embarrassing, dude.
There are some that will tolerate it. Nobody eats it because they want to. Oh God, here we go. Mac Mize, Texas barbecue greater than any other.
Well, that's cool. We're not talking about barbecue there, Slick.
Derek Roche, gifts a Monty Show membership.
Oh, let me pull it out for you.
Love it. Thank you, guys. So what is that, 113 now? 113 new memberships given today. Thank you for that. I appreciate you very much. Godfather's is still damn good. Haven't had it in decades. New York pizza or bread casserole, Chicago deep dish pizza. See, Chicago deep dish is good once a year. The best pizza, my favorite pizza chain is Rosati's Pizza.
Right, yeah.
Thin crust, square cut.
So hard to beat.
Sex. It's amazing.
Better than Oregano's?
Dude, Oregano's square cut pizza is tough to beat. If you're a Phoenician or you live in Phoenix, you know that Oregano's pizza with that Pablo Picasso salad.
Sub pinto beans for the chicken.
Dude, amazing. Amazing. I just don't even. Tanner Plummer, mad mud butt water. Don't you talk about stool water that way. Oh, excuse me. Still water. My bad. Not. Wow. That was a lot. Dakota Tubbs, Tanner, if there's water in your stool, you should call the advocates. You didn't deserve to have this happen to you. That's right. That's right, friends.
There you go.
There you go. Mod pizza is good. It is. I love it. I like the Papa Murphy's Veggie Supreme. So does Mrs. Monty. Absolute. Moth Prof picked up Roche's membership.
Thank you.
Cam Harrison, Pizza Hut with arcade games.
That was the vibe as a kid. Pizza Hut was the spot as a kid, man. Like I was never like pizza going to Pizza Hut.
You remember that salad bar thing?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, 100%. You would get the little saltine crackers and then you would play games and it was just a whole vibe. And now that's all gone.
Yeah, I remember those days. Oh, the Phenomenal Hebrew is here. Boy, have you missed a show. Good to see you, Phenomenal, as always. Godfather's the 999 of pizza. LOL, exactly. I haven't had a Godfather's. Oh, my God. Like, does anybody eat at Little Caesars?
No.
I haven't had Little Caesars pizza in. Oh, dude, we might have to pull a Costco pizza now. OG Gary, I would take Mod Pizza over Domino's 11 out of 10 times
100%.
for sure. The Ghost of Gumby, Domino's had an awesome deep dish pizza in the early thousands. Okay. I'll take your word for it. Jeremiah Champion. Here in Pueblo, there's a pizza shop on almost every corner downtown. Best place for mom and pop pizza. I like it. I like it. James, for all the Utah fans.
Oh, boy.
Going to Stillwater, look up Tokyo Pot. Excellent Japanese. Glenn, surprised nobody has thrown round table pizza yet for the conversation. Another one I haven't had in years. Round table pizza. Tanner Plumer. I remember one time at church, they were doing the nativity scene and they were handing out nativity characters. When they handed my buddy Troy the Joseph doll, he asked, "Is this Papa John's?" Papa John Schnatter, a saint that we all deserve. Okay.
We're going to go ahead and move on from that. That's,
Little Caesars has actually passed Domino's and Pizza Hut and cheaper. Really? Is that true? Welcome to the nightmare. Hit the like button. We have more memberships than likes. So is that true? What are we at likewise? Yeah, we're only at 53. We have had, hello. Is it me? We've had over 1,100 people view the show. Please hit the like button. That always helps. Thank you. Ever heard of Sir Pizza? I have not, dude. Heard of Sir Pizza. Okay, Little Caesars has actually its game recently. Okay. Little Caesars is poverty pizza. The pizza I got from them last year had no sauce. It was just cheese and bread cut into triangles. Really? Okay. Dakota, it's a little scary. I thought the same thing. Tokyo Pot is James' favorite weed strain.
Damn.
I thought that I was actually going to say, Tokyo Pot, is that your latest edible that made you say that Oak State is better than Texas?
Whoever came up with that shit need to be fired.
Little Caesars in the 90s, but it's been sliding downhill since. Okay. Round Table here is not too bad. I haven't had Round Table pizza. Brady Cook, deep dish or Chicago style? Same thing.
Yeah.
Mellow Mushroom.
There you go. Yeah. Yep. When you go to Mellow Mushroom, first thing you're gonna get is a hot pretzel with beer cheese.
Yes.
Thank me later.
Jake used to work at Mellow Mushroom.
Yeah.
Mellow Mushroom pizza is great too. I think they're nationwide. They've pared back quite. The pandemic crushed them.
Yeah.
John Dry, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but I don't like Little Caesars at all. Amen to you, sir. I love it. Is there still a brick oven pizza in Provo? I used to go there a lot. I couldn't tell you. Detroit style? There's no such thing as Detroit style.
Yeah, nothing
pizza.
happens in Detroit, dude.
Nothing. Phenomenal Hebrew. There's nothing better than homemade pizza. Totally. Mrs. Monty is a homemade pizza diva. Dude that abides. Sir Pizza is thin crust, square cut, and greasy AF. Love it. Roche, Little Caesars with the Zap Pack and ranch is so good. Ranch dressing on everything. Do you dip pizza in ranch dressing, Jay?
Yes.
Fat ass. Mike Smith.
I am.
James is chasing the dragon at Tokyo Pot. Yes, he is. All right, a couple more, then we got to roll. Brady Cook, Boyd Lake Brick Oven is still there. I like it. No, Tokyo Pot is a restaurant on Main and South 10th Street in Stillwater. Liar. Tell me that your weed dealer isn't like, oh, man, I just got a fresh shipment of Tokyo Pot.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, sir. You want to go to the other side?
Hey, look here, man.
You want to take a trip that's the trip of all trips? Let me get you some of this Tokyo Pot, James. Tell me that's not the truth. Pizza without sauce is just cheese bread. Thank you. Mellow Mushroom is so good, but niche. Yes it is. Boston Mapes. Dion's in New Mexico and Colorado is the best chain pizza I've ever had. Okay. And donuts. Pizza gives me butt blockage.
Bro.
Butt blockage.
What are we doing?
Mike Smith, no, Tokyo Pot is an opium den. Okay. Nam and shit. Dude that abides, thanks for the Friday shows, fella. Made a slow workday much better. You're welcome. And isn't that, after all, why we are here? That's why we're here.
Yes.
It is Memorial Day, and before we roll, again, I know everybody likes to say Happy Memorial Day. It's a pet peeve of mine. I'm the asshole. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy your Memorial Day. Enjoy your extra time off of work. And seriously, barbecues, please don't drink and drive. Please party responsibly. But just take 30 seconds and pause and say to yourself, what is Memorial Day about? It is about people who have given their life for this country. It is about soldiers spending time away from their families. It is about the sacrifice that it is to serve this country. And I mean that. I think it's important that we recognize the ultimate sacrifice by so many so that we can sit here and argue about Texas defensive lines and the best pizza in the country. That's what Memorial Day is about.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in service, thank you for your service. I appreciate you. If you are a veteran, thank you. If you are a police officer or a first responder, thank you. I am thinking about you this weekend. I am appreciating you this weekend. I hope you will do the same. Enjoy your time off. The Monty Show, as always, is presented by The Advocates. TheAdvocates.com. Be safe this weekend. If you find yourself in a wreck, friends, if you get hit by a truck, if you get hit by a drunk driver, if you get hit riding your bike, you get bit by a dog this weekend, you didn't deserve that. You do deserve an advocate, somebody to fight for you. You can chat with an attorney live online for free, 24/7, 365, theadvocates.com, or you never pay the advocates out of pocket because you don't pay unless and until they win your case. Theadvocates.com. Present the Monty Show until Tuesday. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.